What's going on? It's Justeeni here. This is part 4. Here's some important terms that you might need to know. Pause the video if you need to, and let's get right into it. Starting off with Aquarion, it's a pretty straightforward tribe with very straightforward openings. Not a whole lot of options, so typically you just train that warrior on turn 0, then on turn 3, before you capture a village, you'll buy a tech, usually organization or fishing, then upgrade your capital. Then on turn 4, you can choose to either train up to 2 warriors or to upgrade another city if possible. Now, if you miss your first city, then you don't really change anything. You just get organization or fishing on turn 3, and then on turn 4, you can't train 2 warriors, so you would have to upgrade another city if you can. Now for Elyrion, first we'll look at a double polytar opening, where you want to expand a lot in every direction. Now, before capturing your villages, you want to get forestry, so then you can get a sanctuary set up. In this case, we have no trouble affording the sanctuary on turn 4 because we found 2 cities. Now, if we don't find 2 cities with this double polytar opening, then we will have to change things up just a little bit. You can see here we miss both of our cities. So on turn 3, we don't capture anything, and on turn 4, we get forestry before capturing, and we can afford to train 1 polytar. But now we'll look at the poly push opening. So we push the polytar to expand quickly in 1 direction. Then on turn 2, we can get forestry. And then on turn 3, we can get a warrior or polytar, depending on the situation. And then on turn 4, we can get a sanctuary. Now we'll look at the poly push opening, but if you don't find your village right away, when that happens, transition to a double polytar opening. It more or less plays the exact same as a typical double polytar opening, so you can reference those if you're not sure what to do here. Now, if you're in a very desperate situation and have very few forests, you can still do a double polytar opening, but instead of getting forestry on turn 3, you'll have to settle with organization. This is not an opening that I would recommend going out of your way to play. It is only something you should play if you have no other choice. Now for Polaris, your best case scenario is an outpost opening. Train a warrior on turn 0, and then get ready to capture a village by turn 2. If you have a way of connecting outposts, like in this case, don't buy any techs before capturing, and instead save until you have 10 stars, like so, then make 2 outposts to connect both of your cities, getting 2 level 2 cities on turn 3. From there on turn 4, you can connect another city if possible, but if not, you can train a warrior, a Moony, or both. Now, if you can't connect your cities using an outpost, then instead you can still train a warrior on turn 0, but you'll have to buy a tech like hunting or organization to level your cities up. Then on turn 3, you can level up one of your cities. And on turn 4, you can level up another city or train up to 2 warriors. Now, if you have a really bad spawn with no outpost connections and you don't find another city right away, then things really don't change from the other opening, where you want to buy a tech that'll level up your capital on turn 3, and then on turn 4, you'll ideally want to level up your other city, and if not, then train a warrior. Now for a Waterworld exclusive opening, you can train 2 Moonies on turn 0. The intention of this is to find another city as soon as possible and connect those cities using outposts. This is not recommended on any other map type, only use this on Waterworld. And for Cymanti, we'll start with a very greedy opening, moving the Shaman out to explore. I would only do this if you're really confident you can find your second city, because if not, you're in a pretty bad spot. But if you do find that second city, get a fungi on turn 2. Then on turn 3, you can buy a tech. Writing's usually pretty good, but other techs still work. And then harvest a fungi on that second city if you have one. And from there on turn 4, just do whatever makes sense. And we'll look at some more conventional openings, like the turn 1 boosted warrior. This is usually followed up with a turn 2 warrior, which you can optionally boost or move your shaman to explore. Then on turn 3, you harvest the fungi. And on turn 4, you can optionally buy a tech if needed, or you can buy writing if you already have fungi in your second city. Now, if you don't find your second city right away with your boosted warrior, then things can change just a little bit. So here, we don't see our second city, but we can still train a warrior on turn 2 and boost it, and get that fungi on turn 3. From there on turn 4, we can afford to get writing and a hexapod to still keep our expansion going. Now if we get a lighthouse spawn, Cymanti can take advantage of those quite a bit with a turn 0 level up. And you can get an explorer if it's a tiny drylands map, but a workshop is usually the way to go. Then turn 1, you can boost a warrior, and turn 2, you can level up your city with a fungi, and optionally train another warrior here. Then on turn 3, you can optionally get writing and make a hexapod, or you can save up to get a centipede going. And that's every opening ever. Have a good one.